Richard was the picture of success. His life was a collection of businesses, properties, and a comfort that most people could not even imagine. But behind all the wealth, he carried a heavy burden, an invisible pain. He had read a verse in the Bible that haunted him every day. It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Richard tried in every way to buy his salvation. He made gigantic donations to charities and built churches. But with each new donation, the guilt and fear in his soul grew. The weight of the verse was like an anchor that prevented him from finding peace. He realized that no matter how much he gave, his wealth did not free him. It only imprisoned him more and more. One day of anguish, Richard went to visit a charity institution. There, he saw a humble elderly woman of faith, Madame Elizabeth, distributing bread to the children with a radiant smile. She had nothing, but her face reflected a peace that Richard's wealth had never given him. He approached her and asked where such happiness came from. She just smiled and said, "It comes from the heart, my son. From giving what we have, not what we have left over." If you like stories that make you reflect on life's choices and overcoming adversity, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next ones. Richard felt ashamed and intrigued. He invited Madame Elizabeth for lunch, but she refused. "You gave me a lot today, but I have to go home because I have to help my neighbor fix his roof. He has no money." Richard offered to pay, but she refused again. "It's not about money. It's about the love we give to our neighbor, my son." It was then that Richard understood. Salvation was not in wealth, but in humility. Salvation was not in donations, but in the surrender of the heart and in helping others. He didn't need to be less rich, but more human. He went to Madame Elizabeth's house and helped her, for the first time in his life, with his own hands. He felt a peace he had never felt before. His soul was liberated. From that day on, Richard's life changed. He did not abandon his wealth, but used it to help others in a different way, with his own time, his own effort, and his own heart. He became the architect of hope, not building bridges and buildings, but building bridges between people, gardens of hope. He understood that true wealth is not in what we have, but in what we are and in what we give. Life teaches us that true salvation is not in wealth, but in faith, love, and humility. May the story of Richard remind us that true wealth is not in what we have, but in what we are and in what we give. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and come be a part of our community of faith and resilience.